Oh, what fun. Alabama spring football. Last season, the Crimson Tide finishing 11-2 with both losses coming on the final play of the game. They missed the playoff, but they still finished within the top 5 of the AP poll, and they won the Sugar Bowl against Big 12 champion K-State. They begin this season, though, without former Heisman winner Bryce Young, Heisman candidate Will Anderson Jr. Young won 23 games as a starter through 80 touchdowns. Anderson led Bama in sacks the last 2 seasons. But Bama bringing in the #1 recruiting class this year, featuring 23 ESPN 300 commits. It's the 4th time they've had a class with 20 or more ESPN 300 prospects, more than all other programs combined. This is new on SportsCenter. Moments ago, Heather Dinich speaking with head coach Nick Saban.
Coach, not since 2016 have you had a quarterback competition featuring athletes with such little experience from last year. What can you tell us about where the quarterback competition stands right now?
Well, both of the guys are working hard, and the most important thing is that they can stay focused on what they need to do to improve their ability to play winning football at the position, which is very important because they distribute the ball to someone every play. So it's an important position. They're both guys that have talent, and we just have to try to help them develop and focus on the things they need to do to play winning football.
How different are Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson, and is experience at all an edge for Jalen?
Well, I think Jalen does have some experience, but it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So it's a competition, and both guys need to, do the things that they need to do to improve. And both guys have had a great attitude about doing it so far, and we're excited about what we can do to help them do that.
We talked a little bit off camera about how much work is going on right here, and it wasn't the Alabama teams you were used to even coaching last year. With 2 new coordinators, a new starting quarterback, just how much effort is going into getting this team back to what you want it to be?
Well, anytime we don't get in the national championship game, there's a standard here that everybody sort of has an expectation for, that we want our players to stay focused on what they need to do to be able to get there. Not the outcome, but what do we have to do to get the outcome. And I think everybody in the organization is trying to figure out, okay, how do we go about this in a way that's going to help us get there with our players, our coaches, and everybody in the organization, because we have a high standard for what we want to accomplish and what we want to do, and we need to get everybody to buy into that and understand the importance of doing the little things that will help them get where they want to be and where we want to be.
And fresh off of that interview, she joins us now live from Tuscaloosa, our college football reporter, Heather Dinich. He mentioned the 2 coordinators. So the DC would be Kevin Steele, his 3rd stint with Alabama, coming from Miami. And, of course, a former Notre Dame offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, coming in that position. What's he hoping to see from his offense this year, Heather?
A more balanced offense. When you look back at their stretch run of Nick Saban coach teams, there was a period where Alabama averaged at least 200 rushing yards almost every time they were out there. And they got away from that a little bit, but some of it was because they had a quarterback who was so amazing in Bryce Young, and they didn't have to run it as much. But I think with a new starting quarterback, you're going to see them put a little bit more emphasis on that. But one of the things I talked to Nick Saban about was the hire of offensive coordinator Tommy Rees, and he wants to see Tommy Rees develop these quarterbacks. Not only did he hire him because he's an offensive coordinator, but Saban looked at Rees as a total package because of what he's been able to do in terms of developing the players at that position. So I think it all starts there, and I think Alabama fans might see a bit of a more of a running game while they get those rookie quarterbacks going.
And I think Notre Dame fans, Heather, to be frank, will be watching that closely to see how he does moving south. Now, after missing the college football playoff last year, and you touched on it briefly there with Coach Saban, I'm wondering what his message is internally about getting back to the championship.
Well, his message is internally is what their aspirations are, what their goals are, which is always winning a national championship every year. And I said to him, do you feel any pressure? I asked him about Georgia and the competition there, and he said Georgia has won the last two national titles. They have proven the last 2 years that they are the best team. But he said success is not a continuum for us. What they're trying to do is get back to that. And he said The key is getting everyone in this building not to measure themselves against outside expectations, but the ones from within. And he said that that's what he manages to do as a head coach when it comes to pressure.
Yeah, second best odds to win the national title behind Georgia. Listen, before I let you go, that looks so cool. Where exactly are you right now?
I am in the Glitz and Glam recruiting lounge where they've got more trophies than I don't even want to tell you how many schools combined, Hannah. And so I could use some of the bling here to add to my own jewelry collection. I don't think they would miss it if we're being honest, but I'll keep it here in the glass cases.
Yeah, please do. Don't get in trouble. But we did say they have the #1 recruiting class, which you can kind of see hanging out in that lounge for a bit, what kind of impact that would have. Heather Dinich, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.